Good day to all. I am Charmagne Lizzette Inao, presenting our study Utang na Loob, the ethical perception of selected Caviteños on the Filipino culture of indebtedness as a basis of voters' choice, co-authored by Isidora Emanuel de Hoya, Christian Daniel Olegario, and San Miguel Villegas. In this presentation, to define, Menguin states that utang na loob pertains to one's debt or gratitude towards a particular individual, in which the receiver feels a sense of obligation to return the favor to the giver, even if this is not a requisite. Utang na loob is a cultural trait that is very much present in many Filipino communities. Essentially, Filipinos remember the good deeds done to them. But how did utang na loob become a Filipino trait? Well, the values of kagandahang loob, pasasalamat, and bayanihan manifests itself in utang na loob. As Filipinos, we are known for our kagandahang loob. It is one's innate generosity to do good towards their peers and provide them with any assistance possible. Through receiving these services, we touch upon pasasalamat. It refers to an individual's gratitude towards another person. And lastly, is bayanihan, which is a Filipino trait that refers to one's strong sense of cooperation and endeavors to give back to their community by any means possible. Specifically, Rongdoin et al. Found recurring themes when it comes to utang na loob. Among these are the following concepts. Under kagandahang loob is reciprocity or pagtutumbas. We give back the equal amount we receive whether in the same form or in its equivalent. Under pasasalamat is acknowledgement or pagkilala, where we recognize and appreciate any service given to us. Finally, under bayanihan is the innate social responsibility or panlipunang gampanin of respecting these utang na loob situations. Now, let's contextualize this in the perspective of Cavite politics. First of all, why Cavite province of the Philippines? Well, according to Ileto in 2012, Cavite province is a microcosm of mafia-type bosses since the 1970s. Essentially, utang na loob setups are very rampant and is the go-to style of political candidates to win their local elections. Specifically, Delfin Montano is the former and longest governor of Cavite. He served from 1956 to 1971, which is 15 years. How did he achieve this? Well, Delfin Montano's long-standing dominance in Cavite politics was based on his projections of personal power, which he confirmed over and again by selectively eliminating adversaries and manipulating voters through financial help or the propagation of rumors among Cavite tabloids. Contemporarily, the Revillas have overthrown the Montano by the early 2000s. According to Abang et al., in 2017, under the new political leadership of the Revillas, the province of Cavite still functions under a similar type of command. Despite the many controversies that the Revillas had faced, they remained in office due to power and the popularity that they maximized to garner support from the grassroots. Now, our research questions explored the following about utang na loob. First, we explored the actual experience of encountering utang na loob. This includes the people who may have handed the benefits to the voters, the form of these benefits, and the personal or familiar experiences that may have contributed to an individual's loyalty to a politician. Secondly, we focused on the voters' perception to the ethicality of utang na loob. This includes how a voter's indebtedness have affected their socioeconomic needs, their loyalty to a political entity, and how Filipino values shape the perception of utang na loob. In this slide are four subsections of our review of related literature. Notably, we used the paper of Baldo and Quirante to provide a background on utang na loob as any voluntary offering of good and services. Under said section, we contextualize it in the province of Cavite, our study scope, and highlighted loyalty as a determinant of utang na loob. Essentially, loyalty ensures partiality and persistence. On the right half of the screen, the advantages and disadvantages of utang na loob were also discussed. The disadvantages obviously outweigh the benefits. However, it is best to note that utang na loob is closely associated with hiya or shame. Thus, a benefit of utang na loob is sa pagkakaroon ng hiya or when we have shame, we are forced to accept the flaws of other people. Finally, we included a study on social classes, which indicates that as one belongs to a lower socioeconomic class, the more they are influenced by utang na loob. Voters' choice pertains to the candidate that individuals have voted for, which are ultimately influenced by their preference by the following values, such as religious teachings from the church, the traditional Filipino familial values. This then connects to metaethics, which is regarded as the ethical thought of moral language and actions. With that judgment in mind, what one deems morally right and wrong isn't necessarily the same for other individuals. Moreover, focusing on a local lens, Filipino ethics stem from animist traditions mixed with Spanish Catholicism embedded into our culture due to colonization. With that said, Filipino virtue ethics were formed, and individuals were introduced to a concept that focuses on more relationship oriented virtue ethics, and which can be seen within the notion of utang na loob. These two foundational concepts embedded within Filipino virtues are the loob and kapwa. With that said, the first ethical value is loob, which talks about one's own rational will to understand if a specific action is right or wrong based on one's moral values. Kapwa, on the other hand, pertains to where an individual does these deeds onto and is recognized in a shared identity with others. Loob is not merely determined by oneself, but through the relationship and action one bestows towards our kapwa. For our methodology, the researchers conducted a phenomenological research design which mainly strived to understand the lived experiences of voters towards the phenomenon of utang na loob. With this design, the study explicated how the phenomenon of utang na loob transpires, forms, and functions, and the perception towards it along with its extent. This was accomplished by two online in-depth semi-structured interviews through Zoom or Messenger call. Along with this, the researchers utilized an interview guide which navigated the session. Through this, the group had more liberty to ask more inquisitive questions while the participants can expound on their experiences. Now, let's discuss the identified scope of the research. It documented the utang na loob experiences of Filipino voters who voted at least once in Imus or Bacoor, Cavite. Moreover, this study explored the totality of the phenomenon of utang na loob in the said context, specifically its formation, manifestation, and extents. Now let's discuss the procedures of the data collection of this research. As said earlier, the study employed two session interviews. The first one was focused on capturing the background context of the participants to build rapport, while the latter was dedicated to questions that are more in-depth to help the participants expound their initial answers. There was a 2-week interval between the two sessions to allow for self-reflection and digestion of the topic. The data analysis presented in the study is thematic analysis, which aims to observe common themes such as patterns, topics, and ideas throughout the given topic. With this, the researchers then utilized the method analysis based on Braun and Charles' 6 phases of thematic analysis. Firstly, the researchers familiarized the data collection throughout. Next would be generating codes, which we broke down data in a systematic way and organized it. We then distinguished themes, reviewed these themes, and then defined them through the study's theoretical framework. And lastly, the researchers wrote an overall analysis and report of the themes gathered. With the thematic analysis, the researchers used and developed the SIR consequentialist framework basing on Landa Hokana's smooth interpersonal relations model. The SIR consequentialist framework combines two theoretical frameworks, the smooth interpersonal relations model and the consequentialist framework. The SIR model examines a person's foundation, including individual experiences and situational characteristics, while the consequentialist framework focuses on the outcomes and implications of the SIR model within the context of utang na loob, such as the direct and indirect impact and the decision-making process of the voters. This framework takes into account authentic Filipino values and considers the relationship between personal experiences, cognitive filters, ethical values, and decision-making related to utang na loob. For previous life experiences, the participants in the study came from traditional nuclear families with strong ties. Family background and socioeconomic status were influential factors in development of utang na loob. The participants' education level and experiences with financial difficulties also played a role in their relationship with local politicians. For individual experiences, the participants observed and experienced politicians handpicking campaign teams for their close circles. Those from lower socioeconomic classes had more frequent interactions with political candidates. Social events like kasal, binyag, and libing provided opportunities for politicians to distribute gifts. The compadre system and strong family ties accelerated the formation of utang na loob too. For the situational characteristics, utang na loob were often based on one-to-one relationships rather than dynastic connections. Barangay captains and staff played a role in carrying out orders of incumbent officials seeking re-election. The study also revealed that some participants would choose not to vote if they didn't recognize any of the candidates, challenging popular arguments. For perceptual and cognitive filters, participants perceive utang na loob as beneficial phenomenon that promotes giving back to the community. Cultural events such as Kasal Binyag Libing reinforce the concept of utang na loob. Votes were influenced by personal preferences rather than strict adherences to agreements. Utang na loob may have clouded objective candidate evaluation focusing on received services. Actions based on utang na loob depended on individuals' perception of positive outcomes without considering consequences. Utang na loob was considered a natural occurrence and an integral part of the Filipino culture. For the impact of utang na loob on ethical values and outlook, utang na loob affected ethical values and voting behavior. It may have clouded the candidate evaluation, emphasizing the importance of received services. Family ties played a role in influencing voters to support family members running for office. Utang na loob was also perceived as beneficial as long as benefits were received. It was deeply rooted in Filipino virtue ethics and the inherent need to exhibit goodness towards peers. Actions based on utang na loob prioritize positive outcomes without considering consequences shaping ethical values. In conclusion, the Filipino culture of utang na loob is a phenomenon rampant in Cavite, specifically in Bacoor and Imus. Even months or years prior to the local elections, this is closely tied, but not totally determined by the political dynasties that have been established in the area. This study provides an insight on how utang na loob occurs in Cavite and is observed and experienced by its voters. The phenomenon is commonly established by the constituents or alipores of the patron a long period of time before the local elections to introduce the name and presence of the supported politician. This is commonly done in forms of financial assistance and food or gift giving in events such as kasal, binyag, libing, fiestas. The obligation to give back is more susceptible between relatives and acquaintances, integrating the feeling of pasasalamat and hiya. Through the relationship of utang na loob, the individuals have gained occasional assistance or benefits from the politicians, which was most especially acknowledged by Class E. The study presents the individuals have shown aversion to the utang na loob as the basis of voters' choice, aside from Class E, arguing that the services provided by the politicians are within their job description. In addition, votes made from utang na loob rather than a critical analysis on candidates' credentials and platforms were said to lead to poor governance and management. However, utang na loob is still recognized as an essential value of Filipinos, which must be exercised in areas beyond politics. While utang na loob is not perceived to be inherently bad, it is perceived as a convenient tool for manipulation of the masses, especially those in dire need. Despite Cavite being a hotspot of political dynasties, the residents have acknowledged that utang na loob is not an ethical basis for choosing future leaders but are still voted nonetheless because of the existing power and politicians hold, the lack of oppositions, and the immediate benefits they provide. And that concludes the presentation of our study on Utang na Loob, the ethical perception of selected Caviteños on the Filipino culture of indebtedness as a basis of voters' choice. Here are the references used and cited in the presentation. Thank you very much for listening.